Hi, I'm Jake, and I'm here with Ethan from Benelli, and today we're going to talk about adjusting your Benelli Lupo. Now, let's talk about how to adjust the drop and cast.
Sure, but first, let's render the gun safe. Before making any adjustments or doing any work on your firearm, be sure it's unloaded. For this one, I'm just going to remove the bolt and set it aside so we're sure. The drop and the cast is easily adjustable on this rifle. There's a drop shim in between the stock and the receiver.
Okay.
There's a cast shim we can add if we want to cast the stock left or right a little bit. And there's also a grip to trigger spacer if you want to lengthen that a little bit. So say if your eye relief feels a little bit off, if you feel like you have to move your head a little to align everything, then you can adjust the stock to make up for that, to see through your scope clearly without
Okay.
moving too much and keep a solid cheek weld.
So basically, I can customize it to fit me perfectly.
Right, that's
Okay.
right. So yeah, let's go ahead. We'll adjust the drop and the cast on this. We'll start by removing the recoil pad. 2 Phillips head screws holds this on. We'll remove the progressive comfort assembly. That's 2 more Phillips head screws. And there's a 13 millimeter stock nut. So once the stock nut comes off, the stock will slide off. And inside, we're going to have some hardware come out. There's a spacer, a flat washer, a lock washer, and there's the nut. The drop shim that we're going to change is on the front of the stock here. And we can snap that off. So in this case, we have a J drop shim.
Okay.
So if you refer to the owner's manual, you'll see we're going to put a Y shim in, which is going to drop the stock just a little bit more.
Okay.
Also, we'll add the cast shim, which if the cast shim is desired, it can just go right onto the back of the drop shim, just like that. And we see DX here, which is going to cast off as a right-handed shooter. It'll cast the stock away from the face
Okay.
a little bit. It's reversible. SX would do the opposite. Take the rifle, put your drop shim and cast shim. And this is where the grip to trigger spacer could be added.
Okay. I want to lengthen that just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more. That
Okay.
option is there. Before putting the stock back on, you'll see this spacer has a plate with letters on it. And you want to match up whichever drop shim we installed. We want to make sure that letter is in between those 2 arrows. So for this example, we used the Y. So I'm going to go up and get those teeth in line and snap in so we have Y in between the arrows.
Okay.
That spacer drops right down into the back of the stock. And then the stock can be reinstalled on the rifle. Our 2 washers and nut. I usually use like a pistol cleaning rod, long screwdriver, something like that, just to guide these back down onto the stock bolt. and that can be a little tricky, but then we'll tighten the nut. And this once again is a 13 millimeter. I just use a socket wrench or a T-handle.
Yep. It's nice and snug there.
Yeah. You can refer to the manual for torque specs on that.
Perfect.
But yeah, very similar to reinstalling like a shotgun stock. The progressive comfort system goes back in. And for this scenario, we have a length of pull spacer. We'll put the recoil pad back on. And now we have dropped the stock and added some cast off.
That was pretty simple. Now
Yeah.
we've got a custom fit to me gun.
Yeah,
Ready to go.
Exactly.